They believe that cutting taxes is a cost. We believe that cutting taxes is a savings. The difference is they believe that the money belongs to the government and the bureaucracy. We believe it belongs to the people who earned it.
It's a question I keep having. Whose money is it? And progressives always seem to think it's government money. They don't like the idea of tax cuts. Well, House of Commons this week, Pierre Poilievre, the man beside me, the Minister of Employment and Social Development, I'll call you Minister of Jobs. You've been up on your feet answering the attacks from the Liberals and the NDP quite a bit. They keep asking why you want to give people their money back.
Well, it's funny, their nomenclature, it tells us a lot about how they see the world. They say that our tax cuts cost a lot of money. Actually, they don't cost money, they save money. If your mindset is that it's the government's money, well, I guess you might think that it is a cost. But if your mindset is that that money actually belongs to the people who earned it, the taxpayer, then you understand a tax reduction is a savings and not a cost.
Now, I heard some journalists talking about this, and as I often say, media opposition, it's hard to tell them apart, but a couple of them saying, but in accounting, doesn't it show up as a cost to the Treasury? And I guess in some of the tax measures, maybe not the pure tax cuts, but some of the breaks, they do show up as that. But to me, it's still a mindset issue, and their mindset is that it is government money first.
Well, you saw Thomas Mulcair yesterday. He was all stressed out that 20, 30, 40 years from now, billions of dollars will be in the hands of people who are saving for their retirement instead of in the coffers of government bureaucrats and politicians. So that's the mentality of the high tax parties. They believe it is their money and that any amount that is left to the taxpayer in the eyes of the left really is a cost. We believe it's a savings to the people whose money it is.
Let me ask you about this, because tax-free savings account is one of their the bees in their bonnet about the budget, is that you've increased the limit from, I think it was $5,500 to $10,000.
Yes.
And they keep saying, well, this is going to cost the government money. This is money, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is money that someone who's working has already paid tax on, and then they put it in, and the only thing that's not taxed is the interest they earn if that money is invested and they get a return.
That's absolutely right. So quick recap. A tax-free savings account is where you put your after-tax income up to $5,000 in a separate account, and then it can grow or gain interest tax-free forever. You can take it out at any time, put it back when you want. Your money, your choice. Now, the opposition says, well, that just helps the rich. Well, in fact, we have stats. We have hard facts based on tax filings that show the contrary. In fact, 60% of people who maxed out their tax-free savings account earn less than $60,000 a year. So, again, 2/3 of people who maxed out the accounts at $5,000, they earn less than $60,000 a year. Apparently, the NDP and the Liberals think that if you earn $60,000 a year, you're rich, and that your taxes should go up.
I was talking with economist Ian Lee from Carleton Sprott School of Business, and he said he went and looked at the numbers. He looked at the hard figures, which Ian always does, but he said you compare that to who maxes out their RRSPs, which Liberals for years were big proponents of RRSPs, and good for them on that, back when they still believed in giving people tax cuts. But RRSPs, he said, that is actually used and maxed out by the wealthy. And he said it's regular middle-class people that are maxing out their TFSAs. He said it's like Downton Abbey. You got the people up in the mansion who are using their RRSPs to the max, and it's the regular people using the tax-free savings account.
That's a great point, and Ian Lee, being one of the greatest business professors in the country, is correct to point that out. Why is it the case? RRSPs allow you to shelter your money from taxes at the front end, and you pay taxes at the back end. The tax-free savings account is the reverse. It's taxed on the way out, but it's taxed on the way in, but tax-free on the way out. Why does this matter? Well, if you're a really high-income person, you benefit most from RRSPs, which allow you to reduce your marginal tax burden. If you're a lower income person, you pay at lower rates, you're better off with the tax-free savings account. And so it really is a vehicle designed for modest and middle income people to set aside a nest egg so that they can retire in comfort.
All right. I like a lot of the tax measures in the budget. No secret there. I still have one complaint, though. You're spending too much money still. But I'd say that every year, no matter who's in power. So why don't you spend less and let me keep more next year?
That's exactly what we're doing, actually. If you look at the real, I mean, a lot of economic conservatives have criticized us on this issue. I'd like to clarify the facts. Right now, for every dollar in economic output in Canada, there's only 13 cents in federal government spending. In the United States, it's actually about 22 cents. So the federal government in the United States, in relation to the size of its economy, is actually much bigger than it is here in Canada. Over the last, ever since the stimulus expired, Canada has government spending at a national level has been in decline. The reason why we have the lowest tax rate in 50 years is because we have some of the lowest spending in 50 years as a share of GDP. So I think we're actually delivering a small government with a low tax, balanced budget. Fiscal conservatives should be very happy.
All right, I'll leave with this last question, and that is one that Rick Smith from the Broadband Institute can never answer. Whose money is it, Pierre?
Taxpayers.
Thank you.